Hi people, what's up? I hope you have spent a very wonderful day so far. Today I'm making a different video. I'm going to show every single survivor's best personal perk in Dead by Daylight. But before we start, I would like to tell you that this is just my personal opinion. I know that no one will agree with me. So, if you truly disagree with one of my choices, please just let me know through a comment. Let's begin. Starting with Dwight, I think that his best perk is Leader. This perk is so underrated and I truly don't know why. I guess that the true reason people prefer Brutice F over this is due to the bonus blood points. But you know what? I think that people get the very true value of Brutice F only when they solo work on a gen and someone is right next to them. But this is not how Brutice F was supposed to be used. So yes, I think that Leader will give people more value than can imagine. Meg is pretty known for Sprint Burst, but you know what? I think that Adrenaline is way better. I consider it the very best survivor perk for late game. I prefer Adrenaline over Sprint Burst for two reasons. One, I've never learned how to 99 Sprint Burst, I'll be honest. But most importantly, remember, Adrenaline is an exhaustion perk, but it still activates even if you are already exhausted. So yes, definitely a very good choice. Claudette's best perk is Botany Knowledge in my opinion. I always preferred Botany Knowledge over Self-Care. I'm surprised that Self-Care is still her most used perk. It was pretty nerfed in June, we know that. And Botany Knowledge was pretty buffed instead. So how can people still prefer to use Self-Care? I don't know, and I don't want to know that. All of Jake's perks received some changes in June, and now I think that his best one is Saboteur. Iron Will is pretty dead, I don't have to remember you why. Saboteur instead was pretty buffed, and especially now you can also spot the Scourge hooks. And yes, they're pretty spammed right now, especially Pain Resonance. So yes, no perk is good as Saboteur right now for Jake. Do I truly have to talk about Nia's best perk? I think that Balance Landing is her best one according to literally everyone. I'll be honest, I think that Nia's perks are not good. Not even Balance Landing, but yes, let's say that it's the best among the worst ones. Can we say that? After all, yes, we all know how frustrating it is when you fall off a great high and yes, I think that Balance Landing is a great counter for our frustration, let's say that. But yes, overall it's not that good, let's say that. It's useless to talk about Laurie's best perk, because the answer is yes. We all agree that even after that big nerf, Decisive Strike is still the best choice. At least now for killers is it a bit counterable, the stun duration is reduced and most importantly, now it cannot be activated once the exit gates are powered. But yes, still a way better perk than Soul Survivor and Object of Obsession. Now let's talk about Ace. Ace in the hole and Up the Ante are trash, let's say that. At least open-ended is a pretty good perk. Of course, you must hope that someone else has at least one aura reading perk, or yes, you just lost one perk slot. It's easy to talk about Bill now. Unfortunately, after Borrowed Time became a base kit for every single survivor, now Unbreakable is definitely his best option. Okay, I know, it can let you recover from the dying state only once per match, but let's not forget one more thing, this perk gives higher recovery speed from the dying state. And so yes, this is his best option now. And now it's time to talk about Main, and I truly must be ready for the flame. Main is both the most played survivor in the game and the survivor with the most underrated perk in the game, and that perk is none other than Alert. Why can't people understand the true value of this perk? It's probably one of the best aura reading perks in the entire game, come on. You can spot since the very beginning of the match which killer are you facing, and also it can let you know if you are facing a stealth killer. So yes, please guys, use Alert. Use Alert please. Are you ready to talk about David King? And are you ready to know that even after that big nerf, Deadad is still his best perk? Actually, I think that we're gonna live forever even after the, let's call it nerf, but removing the blood points it's not a big nerf. It's still a good choice, but come on, Dead Hard could provide you a third health state, and so now does. So yes, sorry, Dead Hard is still his best option. Talking about Quentin, it is a big battle between Wake Up and Vigil, but I guess that Vigil is way better at the moment. After all, who can know if the killer has any perk which can actually alterate your status effect? And yes, Vigil is the best counter to status effects perks. So yes, Vigil over Wake Up, that's the choice. Now let's talk about Detective Tap. Tap's best perk, in my opinion, is Detective's Hunch. This perk is like a map. Literally, I mean, just finish to work on a generator, or just let someone else finish to work on a generator, and that's it. You get informations about everything, just literally everything, except the killer of course, but yes, probably his best perk. Time to talk about our favorite guitarist. Kate's best perk, in my opinion, is not Windows of Opportunity. Her best perk right now is Boil Over. I still can't believe that Windows of Opportunity is so spammed right now. I think that Windows of Opportunity is pretty good only when you don't know which palette are used and which not, but looks like I'm pretty lucky with chases, because I always find palettes even without Windows of Opportunity, and that's why I prefer Boil Over. Let's move on. Adam's perks are trash. We all know that. And among the worst ones, I think that Deliverance is actually the best one. And what's the problem? That it only activates if you saved someone from the hook. And if you are the first one who gets hooked, well, you wasted a perk. That's the problem. I think that Jeff's perks are pretty handful. Right now, due to all the aura reading perks for killers, I think that Distortion is his best option. It was pretty okay before the big buff, but now you can recharge your tokens, so yes, pretty good, definitely pretty good. Now, come on guys, do I truly have to talk about Jane? Because we all agree about Jane's best perk, which is Head On. I don't use it that much, but yes, I prefer to use it over Poised or Solidarity. I don't know why a perk like Solidarity has not been reworked yet. And now I truly don't know what to talk about, because Ash Williams perks are trash, we all know that. Maybe the only one good is Flip Flop, but only if you use it with other perks, just like, I don't know, maybe Unbreakable, just for quoting one. Okay, the Stranger Things chapter is not available anymore, and its characters' perks became universal perks, but let's talk about them anyway. Nancy's perks were not that good, I'll be honest. Only the now so-called Inner Healing deserves to be called a good perk. Unfortunately, you can use this perk for a maximum of 5 times per match, but due to the Boon meta, well, you will never use this perk that much. Well, Steve's perks were not that good either. I will give my choice to Guardian, but only for the killer aura reading, because this perk is not that good either. But after all, it helped me to unlock an achievement, so yes, that's an honorable mention. Let's move on. Now we have to talk about Yui, and her best perk, in my opinion, is not any means necessary, but instead it is Lucky Break. The buff it received in June was amazing, come on. But the buff any means necessary is going to receive soon, well, maybe that will change my mind, who knows. Okay, now people will truly hate me, because I had to talk about Zarina. I would like to give my choice to For the People. It's okay if you laugh, don't worry. Since it's buff in June, I spammed off the record for every single match I played. But then I realized something, that I don't do anything for those 80 seconds of duration. So yes, now I find it more useless than useful, I'll be honest. I give my choice to For the People. The Silent Hill chapter gave us Pyramid Head, which is the killer I enjoyed the most to play against. And it also gave us, well, Cheryl, one of the survivors with the worst perks in the entire game. Among those perks, well, I guess I give my choice to Repress the Alliance, but only because it's pretty unique, not because it's good. Maybe in the right hands it can be pretty good, but well, I find no use in that. Let's talk about Felix. I think that its best perk is not built to last. His best perk is Visionary. Built to last is pretty good, can't deny it, but you can't use that as much as you want. Visionary is way better, come on. And now... Do I truly have to talk about Elodie? The answer is yes, don't worry, her best perk is Power Struggle. I won't talk a lot about it, I will only tell you that since I knew about the existence of such a perk, I stopped to walk through pallets while carrying survivors. I think that I am the only DPD player who thinks that yun-jin's best perk is Smash It. I truly like it. Really, it can make you end a chase pretty soon, and that's amazing. Of course you must hit the killer with a pallet, but yes, pretty good. I believe that Jill players think that Blast Mine is her best perk, but I would say that Counterforce is way better. And this opinion is based on the fact that this cleansing speed can stack. I remember a few months ago that I played a match in which I was against a pinhead who had both Hex Plaything and Hex Pentimento. The cleansing speed I reached due to Counterforce was amazing. The average Bully Squad team always plays with Leon's Flashbang, but that's not his best perk in my opinion. Bited Bullet is such an underrated perk in the game. Due to the healing meta, killers are pretty spamming a lot of perks which actually slow down the healing speed. So yes, something who actually can make you heal others without making any sound can be pretty useful right now. Talking about our favorite witch, Michaela actually has the very best perks in the entire game, and of course her best one is still Boon Circle of Healing. There is a reason if people, as soon as they hear that a totem has been blessed, they already know that it is Circle of Healing and no other perk. But actually, Shadow Step is pretty good as well. And now we have to talk about Jonah, who actually has two bad perks and a pretty good one, which is Boon Exponential. And when you use this perk with something like Unbreakable, wow, incredible. But I actually think that Corrective Action could be interesting if you try to play with someone who just started to play the game. That can make the difference. I don't want to talk about Yoichi. He is, hands down, the survivor with the worst personal perks in the entire game. My choice is about Empathic Connection, but only for the 10% healing speed, because, come on, I find nothing special about these perks. The Dredge has such pretty interesting perks, but Hadi, well, she has bad perks. Overzealous seems to be her best one. Bonus generator repair speed only for cleansing a totem. And double bonus repair speed if the totem is a hex totem. So yes, interesting. Let's go back to the Resident Evil universe. People know nothing about Ada Wong, but people know that her only good personal perk is Wiretap. This perk is amazing, come on. So much information for every single survivor. For what? For literally nothing. Let's say thank you to Rebecca, who gave us the very best anti-camping perk in the game, which is Reassurance. What happens if the exit gates are powered, both the exit gates are 99, the killer is camping on the hook, and all 4 survivors in the team have Reassurance? Spoiler alert, the killer rage quits. That's what happens. What have they done to Vittorio? They gave him a Quick Gambit, a trash perk in my opinion, Potential Energy, the most interesting perk in the game in my opinion, and then Fogwise, an aura reading perk which can actually detect the killer even if he has the undetectable status effect. So that's incredible, let's say that. Allow me to talk about the upcoming siblings survivors, starting with Alita. I don't know how to pronounce her name, sorry. I think that her best perk will be Friendly Competition, bonus repair speed on generators for a pretty long time I have to say. This will probably be her best one. And finally, let's talk about her brother, Renato. How do we say? A double-edged sword. Yes, I'm talking about the perk Blood Rush. This seems pretty interesting. You get rid of the exhausted status effect, but you have to deal with the broken status effect. That's pretty interesting, yes. So we made it. There are no more survivors left. But before I end the video, allow me to talk about one more perk. According to DBD's lore, the universal perks probably belonged to someone who actually was in the entity's realm. So please, let me talk about the very best universal perk in the game in my opinion, which is Kindred. My very favorite perk in the entire game. The very best aura reading perk in the entire game. So much effects in only one perk. Yes, I refuse to play a match on DBD without having Kindred in my build. And that's it guys! We reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a like or a comment. And see you in the fog. Bye bye!